So Respawn just released a blog post detailing all the changes that they're going to make to Ranked in Season 18, and Hakis, a pro player for Alliance, released a pretty lengthy tweet pretty much giving his thoughts on the whole thing. I think he said a lot of stuff there that I agree with, so I decided I'm going to go over it in today's video. It's divided into 5 sections, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read each section, then I'm going to give my thoughts on it, elaborate, stuff like that, and then I'm going to move on to the next. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The first section is entry cost plus ranked improvement curve. It says, first of all, bringing back dynamic entry cost and making the game more sweaty at a diamond and above level is just going to bring back the same old problem of people grinding and then hitting a massive wall and just quitting the game because it's not fun anymore. There's so many people that grind up to Diamond 4 or Master and then just lose all motivation to keep grinding because it feels impossible. Why is that? Because the game is so incredibly easy at lower ranks. There's almost no difference between pubs and ranked up until you hit the diamond rank, and that's when games start getting significantly harder and you have to sweat your ass off in order to gain points. There's no steady curve of improvement in ranked. It's just smooth sailing all the way until you hit a brick wall that feels impossible to climb over. This feeling of impossibleness is, in my opinion, one of the biggest reasons why casuals resent the pro community so much. I completely agree with that. The disparity between pros and casuals in Apex is disproportionate compared to other games like Valorant, CSGO, Call of Duty, the rest. Anyways, going back to the tweet. They play a familiar game that they enjoy and like that is relaxing and easy just to quit and give up. And then they watch a completely different game which is competitive and feel like they don't belong. The game needs to be harder at earlier stages. It is supposed to be hard to climb in ranked. I agree. Ranked is not supposed to be like pubs. It's supposed to be a whole different type of game where you have to try your hardest in order to climb, even at bronze if that's your current level. That's why I don't believe in dynamic entry cost. It needs to be static and high all the way so that you have a steady curve of improvement all the way throughout your ranked journey. You are supposed to feel proud and accomplished about reaching any rank in the game. Silver, gold, plat, diamond, it doesn't matter. You should still feel that satisfaction of climbing. In this current system, you don't. You just invest time to get Diamond/Master because it's all about playtime and nothing else. And then when you hit the wall, you give up. That is horrible game design, IMO. Alright, that was a pretty long one. My thoughts on that first section, I completely agree about quite literally everything he said in this first section. Right now, ranking up doesn't feel like you're actually improving, right? Take a look at, let me use the Valorant as an example. Valorant is a very good example of a rank system where every single rank means something. I've seen countless times where people from Valorant will get super excited because they went from silver to gold or from bronze to silver. They put in the work. They actually worked hard in order to achieve that goal of hitting a new rank. Ranking up in a game like Valorant feels like an accomplishment. It feels like something you worked for. In Apex, ranking up is a right. It shouldn't be like that. Moving on to the next section, we have rewards and ranked tiers. To keep touching on the subject of steady curve improvement, I believe that there definitely needs to be more exciting rewards to drive that passion to grind and reach higher ranks, especially if ranked gets turned into a more sweaty version. A big thing that I think would help a lot with this is adding another rank to the game between Master and Pred. Right now, everyone just hits Master and they don't even bother going for Pred because it honestly doesn't mean anything and nobody really cares unless you get rank 1. Quickly on that, yeah, that's actually true. I once had the number 300 Pred on my team riding in a tree, and I was like, okay, no wonder that's how you got Pred. Cool. Pred really just doesn't mean anything unless you're number 1 this season. I agree with that. So this is what Hakis suggests. Giving Master to anyone above 10,000 LP. Then we introduce a new rank called Grandmaster to people that are top 1,000. And then giving Pred to the top 100. He says in his opinion this would give another goal that feels reachable and aligns with the goal of steady curve improvement. And getting other rewards included as well will definitely bring back more grinders with passion for ranked. People that reach the Apex Predator rank should be people that are at a level of gameplay where they are good enough to go pro if they want to. I agree with this. Ranked in general is supposed to be a gateway into comp. And Respawn should IMO incorporate this a lot more to the game itself to create a healthy ecosystem within the game. Because right now, I think a lot of people have dreams and aspire to be pro players, but it just feels impossible because there's no way to turn without connections. And right now, there's no place to prove yourself. That is 100% true. I too think that ranked should be like a gateway to the professional scene. In other games, they do that. League is a perfect example of how ranked is a really good gateway to the pro scene. I believe Valorant does pretty well in that too. Don't know much about CSGO, but I'm willing to bet CSGO is similar in that sense too, because a lot of people talk good about CSGO's ranked system. Moving on to the third section, we have matchmaking. This one is a lot shorter, it's just about a paragraph. It says, I honestly don't even know what to say about this. The whole matchmaking system feels like a bug at the moment, and I hope the changes that are coming will change a lot of things. Queue times definitely need to be longer at the higher ranks. There's no way I should be able to play 8 hours of Pred ranked and not see a single familiar name in the kill feed when I know other people are playing. Preferable queue time at the highest level should be 10 to 15 minutes so that we can get those good quality of lobbies. My thoughts about that, I'm not a top level Pred, so I can't really give much of my opinion on what the queue time should be for that level, but if that's what he thinks needs to be done in order for them to get high level games, that's fine by me. As far as we don't have gold and silver level players just getting run down by TSM, I think that's fine. Moving on to the fourth section, LP gains. They mentioned that you gained way too much LP this season, which is a good realization because there's no way I should be able to rat myself to top 3 and then have enough points to die off spawn 5 games in a row. That is so true. It is absolutely insane how from just having one good game, you can have numerous awful games in a row where you die in 20th with 0 kills and you will still be at a net gain in terms of LP. It's ridiculous. Going back to the tweet, if you ever want games to be sweaty, then there needs to be an incentive to try hard, and one of the biggest incentives to try hard is a harsh punishment. That's why Season 13 was so good and people were sweating because the entry cost was really high and the matchmaking was good. When they later opened up the matchmaking, the entry cost didn't matter because the games were so easy. Ratting is fine, IMO, he says. You should be rewarded for making it to late game, no matter the means necessary. However, if you mess up and die early, you need to be punished for it so that you can't just rat one game and then die off drop for 5 games. That's insane. 100% agree. 100% agree. The entry cost is too low in my opinion. I don't think it's a case of people gaining too much LP, because I think the LP gains are fine. Then again, it's all relative. It's all relative to the entry cost, right? And that's really the main problem, is the entry cost is too low. You get top 5, that's 100 LP before any bonus from kills. You have to die in 20th place 3 times in a row with 0 kills in order for you to be back to where you started just from getting 5th place with 0 kills. That's ridiculous. That shouldn't be the case. It is, the system is not punishing. It's not punishing at all. Nobody cares that they're getting minus 35 LP, because quite frankly, when you get that minus 35 LP and then you look at how much LP you lost at the post-game summary screen, you can barely even notice the bar at the bottom of your screen moving down because the minus 35 is just so level. All right, the fifth and final section, solo queue plus 3 stacks. I know this is a spicy topic, but I genuinely believe that ranked will never get a high quality of gameplay as long as these are combined. Almost every season, the first week or so is always sweaty at the top level and the quality is really good. The reason for this is because everybody 3 stacks and sweats in order to gain as high rank as possible as soon as possible. After those 2 weeks or so, the quality starts to decline rapidly. That is because the solo queuers catch up. When you have 10 teams in a lobby consisting of 3 stacks and 10 teams consisting of mixed solo queuers, the solo queue teams are just cannon fodder for the 3 stacks. This guy hit the nail right on the head. No matter how good of a player you are, you will never be better than a 3 stack of good players. You will just get ran over. So basically, even though there's 20 teams in a lobby, it's really only 10 teams that are actually playing the game, and that's where the quality goes to shit. I do realize that we are playing a BR, and getting 60 players into a lobby is incredibly difficult, which is probably the reason why nothing has changed nor will change in this area. But I still think the topic needs to be brought up and discussed because it is one of the main reasons why ranked will never be at a competitive level. If we had the player base, I would love to see a solo queue ranked mode, maybe mixed with console, I don't know, plus a fill queue where you can be however you may want. Don't know how realistic it is, but that would be ideal. Alright, that's pretty much everything in the tweet. Real quick, let me give my thoughts on this last section. I would actually like to see this implemented as well, because what he said is so true. It's essentially 10 teams of 3 stacks and 10 teams of solo queuers, and so you essentially have the 10 3 stacks, or honestly nowadays it's really just like 5 or 6 3 stacks running down the entire lobby, and then it's really just who's going to win between these 5 teams or so. It's that shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the case. I think it would be really interesting to see a solo queue ranked mode, right? I know other games have done something similar to this. I know Halo 5 had something like this. It was called a solo/duo, where if you didn't have a team of 4, you could queue in as a solo or with one other person as your partner, right, into ranked mode, and then they would match you with 2 other solos, and it was essentially just ranked with solo queue players. Halo Infinite had something similar to this too, but due to player population issues, they had to take that playlist out. However, Apex has 10 times the amount of players Halo Infinite has, so I don't see that being much of a problem. Granted, Apex is a battle royale. What else has something like this? I know Valorant has some system, I believe, where once you hit Radiant, you can I believe you can either only solo queue or you can only queue in with a second person. You cannot go in as a 5 stack. Oh, Destiny. I know Destiny isn't a competitive game, but Destiny also had something like that where they had their Trials of Osiris game mode, which is essentially their competitive mode. They had Trials of Osiris, and then they had Trials of Osiris Freelance, which was the solo queue mode version of Trials of Osiris. They also had Iron Banner, which is a sort of PvP event that goes on in the game. They had Iron Banner, and then there was Iron Banner Freelance, which was solo queue for Iron Banner. I would really like to see something like that, where there was ranked and then there was ranked freelance. I would really like to see that in Apex and see how that performs, because I think it would be really good, and a lot of people would enjoy that, because a big complaint by a lot of solo queuers is that they just run into 3 stacks, people with mics and stuff, and they just get rolled over. And I understand that, yes, it's a team game. You should have a team with you, right? But the unfortunate reality is not everyone is going to have a team with them. So if we can find a way to accommodate those players and still make the game enjoyable for them, it will have a positive effect on everyone. There are tons of different ways we can make ranked better. So if you have any suggestions, just put it down in the comments. We'll get a conversation going. With all that being said, y'all take care.